And really it's about sometimes maybe the ball leaving the glove too early and coming back in. Didn't look like that was the case there. But gets to a 2-1 count now as Mudge, one of the more disciplined hitters for Florida State. A premier leadoff hitter in every sense of the word. Skies this one, shallow, actually now deep right center field, but a nice job coming over is Harper in center, one away. Taking a look at the UNF defense. Out in the outfield, it's Shannon Glover, Kayla Harper, and Chloe Culp. She's also kind of the top of the order for the Ospreys. Annette, Chanel, Reichert, and Jackson are in the infield with Woods doing the catching duties. First pitch ball to Mac Leonard, the first baseman. Now it's 1-1.
Yeah, and as you're seeing, if you're, again, just thinking of Ashley Connor in the mound, working against such a potent lineup, you would love to see that first out, fly out, to kind of just set the tone for her team and her defense.
Gets the corner, 2-1. Mac Leonard had a really good performance during the Clearwater Invitational. Longest start of her career against number 2 UCLA, went 4 shutout innings. Unfortunately, Florida State could not hold on to that lead that they got out to. A brutal game, or a very competitive game, I should say. Might be one we see down the line once again.
That's the exact thought I had. I was like, good game, but maybe we'll see you down the line. But as you mentioned, just with Mac Leonard and her longest outing of her pitching career while she's been here at Florida State, again, just really, you go to the Clearwater Invitational, I think, to really prepare for the longevity of the season. And so to see her have her longest outing against a team like UCLA, just boosting her for the team.
Which speaks to the depth once more of Florida State in all facets, pitching, defense, and certainly in this lineup. Leonard skying to left field, makes it 2 outs. Good start for Ashley Connor. First pitch ball here to Kaylee Harding. Harding also had a really good performance in the Clearwater Invitational. We'll recap that here soon, but Harding didn't need to really convince anybody going into that Invitational how much of a complete hitter she is. She's obviously probably considered a 5-tool player overall, but her hitting has been as consistent as can be with power and in terms of line drive. She is as good as it gets.
Professional at bat. Actually is what Coach mentioned, and I could not do anything but concur with that. Very professional at bat by Kaylee Harding down in the Clearwater Invitational so far this season.
Fouls this one towards the batting cages. 2-2. Harding coming in with a .324 batting average through 12 games. Doesn't look like she's going to increase it here with a fly out to her former teammate in Chloe Culp. After one, goose eggs across the score sheet. We'll head to the second. See what UNF can do here. This team expected to win another ACC championship. There's a lot of expectations that comes with this program, and it really starts with her at the top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hit that nail right on the head. It really starts with the top, with her helming this culture, really creating a winning environment, and really just picking up where Coach Graff left off. A little rebuilding there in the middle, but she's done such a great job with getting the team to buy into and really focus on, what the culture is about.
Well, she's certainly accumulated quite a legacy, and Jeff Conrad would hope to do the same over his career in his first season leading the Ospreys. First pitch from Maddie Balk to Reagan Hermeling, his ball out of the zone. Conrad was an assistant before taking the head job here for the Ospreys. Been with the program for a number of years. This one chopped in front of Hartley. Nice acrobatic throw, Derek Jeter style over to first base. Beautiful job by Christina Hartley.
I love it. You see Hartley, I mean, she really very athletically, very quick, comes, no hesitation. We call that a Jeter. No hesitation, on the run, throws that to Mac Leonard to get her out really by step. So very great play right there by Hartley.
And that's been a big emphasis and a big focus from not just in the program but around circles here in Tallahassee. Who's going to take over at third base after the departure of Sydney Sherrill for so many years?
Yeah,
kind of a hole over there at third base, and there's really kind of been a plug-and-play kind of a mentality here by Lonnie Alameda early on, but Hartley's gotten some time there, and with plays like that, she could certainly solidify herself in that role.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about Area 24, as we call it, and we've talked about just a long line of third basemen. That position has pretty much been locked down for a number of seasons for the Florida State Seminoles. So who's going to step in and take over? And like you said, Hartley definitely with a play like what she just made will help her resume, and then also just really quality at bats through the lineup I think is really going to be able to help the coaching staff kind of answer that question for them.
1-1 the count now to Savannah Chanel. Playing shortstop. Good defensive infielder. Really taking a nice job developing into more of an offensive player as of late. Transfer from UNF's rival in Liberty. So staying in the A-Sun. Moving down to Florida. Now 2-2. It's a North Florida team that has really had to work the transfer portal quite a bit. Jeff Conrad, a big part of that, even before he became head coach. Count now full. And they had to do a lot of work in the offseason, Tiffany, just with the sheer number of players that they lost in the offseason. Losing 11 players to graduation, and this year about 50% of the roster, again, is pretty new, so it's almost a completely turning of a new leaf for the Ospreys.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Conrad talked about that, just losing really just the experience and having that project of getting the young girls to buy in to what his program is going to be about, what his program is being about, what his legacy as a coach, right? What is he building? So he talked about that and the importance of that, and losing 11 players, it's tough. But so far, so good, right? They've bought in, they've been doing well. And I think it's impressive to see, just especially with the number of young players that they have in the Ospreys.
A lot of young players, but 12 of them, half of the roster is completely brand new, whether it's transfer portal or young. It's a really unique group that has had to learn a lot on the fly about each other. But they're certainly making noise from that dugout. They're certainly a unified bunch. Another foul. And so Chanel really battling this at bat. See UNF's players certainly up on the fence, trying to will their fantastic shortstop on.
They know they have to bring that energy, right? They're playing the number 6 team in the nation.
3-2. And that's a strikeout. I wasn't sure at first. The umpire really held that one for a while with anticipation, but it's a K for Balk.
It was so pretty. He didn't even realize. But really, Maddie Balk, I think, again, we talked about that spin earlier, that looked probably to the hitter that it was spinning away, and it really just stayed middle, and she just didn't pull the trigger there. So good job by Maddie Balk. First strikeout there for her.
Strike to Abby Annette. Annette over at third base, hailing from Chicago, Illinois. Mention how active that dugout is for UNF. Coach Conrad called Mackenzie Woods. It really, actually, honestly, all of these players really do have a nice little energy about them that really get everybody going. But he really mentioned that Woods is always encouraging her teammates and really is at the top step, the front of that dugout all the time. And this historically, while she's been a reserve this year, really her first year getting a starting opportunity, but she's always been a really great teammate.
Yeah, and if you're a coach, I mean, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to hear as well. Just a teammate who, again, she's kind of worked her way in the lineup this year, but for the time she's been there, just that true team player. Really supporting her teammates because obviously if the team does well, she does well, and that also pushes her to compete so she can eventually get that opportunity which she is getting tonight.
Ball trying to get Woods to go for it.
This year, but for the time she's been there, just that true team player. Really supporting her teammates because obviously if the team does well, she does well, and that also pushes her to compete so she can eventually get that opportunity which she is getting tonight.
Ball trying to get Woods to go for it. It's out of the zone, 2-2.
And then just thinking of that too, Trevor, as far as having that type of team player, she does something well that's almost like a spark of energy to the team to kind of get them going, how many outs, 1, 2 outs. So I would be surprised, even if she got a walk in the situation, what that does for her teammates in the dugout.
So now Woods facing a 3-2 count. Abby Annette is on deck, I should say. I want to correct that for the record. Another chance for Balk to get out of this with a scoreless inning. And this looks like it's a walk-in. It is. Second walk given up by Balk in this start of hers. First start of the year, I should say, as well for Balk. But so far, Tiffany, though, didn't mean to cut you off there, but just wanted to say, look very still composed going through. Her teammates really helping her out, motivating her and just saying, check in, you okay? But so far showing some really good composure.
Yeah, absolutely. But really, she's not missing too much.
Not so far right that when you can get a pop out on the infield right over to Devin Flaherty. Balk's got some excellent defenders behind her, and none better right there in the second inning than Christina Hartley. Well, the one and only Catherine Sandercock now takes the circle over for Maddie Balk here in the third inning. So Maddie Balk's night is complete. Only allowed 2 walks in 2 innings. Catherine Sandercock, Tiffany, what can't you say about Catherine Sandercock, honestly? An 81-10 record, an elite earned run average. The strikeout to walk ratio is absolutely absurd, and it's a 3-4 shot essentially of you going back to the dugout.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at that, retiring 73% of the batters that she faced, but I always like to highlight the strike to walk ratio, 393 to 86, and that just speaks to her attacking the zone, really learning how to trust that defense. She may not strike you out, but she may get you to roll over all night, right? And that's a great night for her in the circle. And so Kat, one of the best pitchers, just another great arm here at Florida State, and she's etching her name in the record books.
Trevor DeGroat, Tiffany Brown, Alex Rivero bringing you the action here this evening, live from Joanne Graff Field on the campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee. Glad you can join us as Sandercock's first pitch is in around the knees to Hadley Reichert. With Catherine Sandercock, she really has really done a nice job as of late of really developing not just what she has already in her arsenal, but even more to it as she gets the ground out over to Devin Flaherty at second base to retire Reichert. And she's really done a nice job now, Tiffany, of really working in a curveball. Change in the rise is starting to come along too, and she can already kind of really throw the heat a little bit in the upper 60s, but when she can add some more to what she's already lethal at, boy, that could be something that you really have to be mindful of as a hitter, especially when it comes to ACC time. When if those pitches really come to fruition, boy, she could be even more deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. But as a pitcher, Kat's been around the game right now, the collegiate game, for 5 years at this point. So you have to continue to develop your game in order to continue to be successful. If you just stay with one pitch, obviously you're more susceptible to being hit. So with Kat developing those pitches, really changing the eye level, really just speaks to the growth of her game, her competitiveness, and then also her desire to continue to be great.
Really dedicated some time in the weight room as well to get stronger in the off season. Always finding ways to improve is Kat Sandercock. Harper re-enters the box here for her second at-bat. Walked in the top of the first. Tries to slap this one really high in the zone. Now 1-2. Still no hits in this game. So really any way for North Florida to break the ice a little bit here. Try and find some sort of advantage and keep the Noles on their toes. It's probably the solution of what Jeff Conrad and at least Kayla Harper are thinking about right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think it would start with Kayla Harper here in this at-bat.
A lot of high-end speed from Harper. You expect that, of course, out of a leadoff hitter to get on base, steal some bags. He's the leading stealer so far this season and is a perfect 6 for 6 on the base paths. 1-2. Swings and misses, tried to slap it to the outside to left field, but there's a strikeout for Sandercock.
Yeah, again, here you see Kat gonna work that. Looks like almost a rise ball up in the zone, tailing away from Harper there, getting her to chase. And again, that's what you see, what makes Kat so difficult in being hit. She can tunnel those pitches and really work up and down, and it's hard to track as a hitter. So you really got to key into one pitch. Try to choose your pitch. When you get it, attack it.
First pitch from Jackson, fouled away out of play. Paints the corner 0-2.
Didn't know if Ump was going to give that to her. Had to think about it again.
That's a home call, maybe. I don't know. Oh, 2 to Jackson. Takes this one, 1-2. Speaking of the offseason, that was really a big focal point for UNF. Of course, we talked about how Jeff Conrad's in his first season. A lot of offseason changes. Kept some things, but even with him being an assistant, really wanted to change some things and move some things around and spice things up. So far here out of the gates in 2023, it's worked pretty well.
Yeah, and I think it's necessary, right? I mean, the girls that did return, they see you as the assistant coach, but now you're stepping into this new role as the head coach. How do you, again, I talked about earlier, just begin to etch your legacy, create your legacy as the head coach, and really this culture to create and build on the success that you had last year.
2-2. And one of the things, several things that Jeff Conrad did, but one in particular was really adding more in terms of video time, film room. Really hasn't been a part of the program, historically. And really dipped into analytics a little bit more, really understanding why things happen, statistics-based, breaking down the game a little bit more. Ground ball by Jackson, over to short. Josie Muffley with the surefire hand, over to first. So Kat Sandercock coming.
While talking to UNF's coach Jeff Conrad, he told me that he has practically a brand new team. This is because all of the team is practically brand new and he has a brand new coaching staff. He said he wanted this new rebrand for the team to build and perfect the culture with structure and discipline. Trevor?
Thanks, Alex. And certainly it is a new time for UNF. New players, new energy, new coaching staff, as Alex said. First pitch to Michaela Edenfield is a strike from Ashley Connor. One thing Jeff Conrad also wanted to do, we talked about obviously the film room, zipping into analytics, but also improving the culture. And it wasn't something that they really lacked. It was pretty strong already, but he was trying to find any single thing or any multitude of things that can just get them over the hump that they're trying to accomplish, which was getting into the NCAA tournament and winning their conference for the first time. So he wanted to work on things such as communication, structure, and discipline, and changing their practice regimen a little bit around.
Yeah, and I think all those things that you just hit on, we talked earlier before the break, the analytics, the film, seeing what is actually happening, not only during game time, but during practice, because that's really where you probably get better. Not probably, you do get better at practice. And then the culture, the communication, the discipline, dealing with the multiple personalities on the team, how to handle that. All of those things come into play to make you a successful team, to make you a team that wins day in and day out. And Coach knows that, and you see him working to improve that. He talked about that just earlier on the call earlier this week.
Pitch out, full count to Edenfield. And he actually told us a big turning point for them in the offseason where there was a big buy-in factor was when they actually welcomed Florida State to Jacksonville for a game in the fall. They actually won that game against the Seminoles. And that really helped them really buy in and put some credibility on the things that they were doing.
Yeah, and really as a new coach, once you get that buy-in, that's what you need, right? You need the buy-in from the team, from the players on the team, so they can actually say, okay, coach actually knows what he's doing. Let's try to support him, right? And you get the players to play hard for you, and they got that just kind of, I guess that's what they needed to say, yeah, my coach knows actually what he's doing, and let's support that and kind of buy into what he's saying.
Edenfield hits this one down the line, and it is called foul. Very close, just off the bag on the left side.
Yeah, you see Enfield kind of get around that outside pitch just close. I don't know. I think it was foul, actually. But very close. Nice hard hit for Edenfield, but just unfortunately foul.
Just a little drift away for Edenfield. Obviously really known for her power with 2 home runs this season. And draws a walk here to start off the bottom of the third.
And speaking of Edenfield, you talk about that power, really probably not the numbers that she wants to see starting off, but a nice hard foul ball right there, and then you see her take the next pitch as ball 4. That's, as a hitter in the situation where you're probably not doing the best that you want to do, you want to take those small wins, right? You want to take those small wins, take your walks where you can, and just continue to build on that.
Strike to Christina Hartley. Well, a win for Florida State right there in and of itself is the fact that that's their first base runner of this game. Hartley with already a great defensive play in this game back in the second. 1-1. Lonnie Alameda really enjoyed seeing Christina Hartley step up in the Clearwater Invitational a bit. Multiple players did. This one lined right over to first base where Logan Jackson was Johnny on the spot, and she doubles up Edenfield 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Wow, what a big play right there. You see the line drive, but really the mistake is on Edenfield. She's supposed to freeze. She reads that on a liner. Her job is to freeze right there so she can try to get back to first base. So little base running mistake on Edenfield. Obviously works out for the Ospreys and getting the double play. And really, too, because that wasn't, it wasn't like a shot off the bat. It's kind of just like one of those off the end of the bat kind of floating liner. Really important, I think, for Enfield to just learn from that mistake, right? Just freezing a line drive instead of kind of taking off immediately.
First pitch from Connor to Josie Muffley. Hits the net way up out of the zone for sure.
Yeah, you see Connor really just looks like she was flipping the change up, just kind of got away from her a little bit. Regroup. It happens to the best of the best.
And Muffley almost seeing chin music right there. 2-0. Tried to drop the bunt. Connor is a transfer out of Nova Southeastern, which is a Division II school, and won 19 games as a freshman, which Jeff Conrad said, hey, look, you're doing something right. I want you on my team. And so, despite right now what you see there, a little bit too many balls maybe for what you like, but hey, when you still have Florida State hitless, you'll take however that discrepancy is and run with it. But really for Connor, she's still just getting her feet wet, but is starting to emerge according to Jeff Conrad. And boy, she's really doing a nice job here on the road against the Seminoles.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I think one of those kind of turning points for her when she did transfer over to North Florida is understanding that everybody's good. She won 19 games at Nova Southeastern, kind of stepping into a new role here. And once you have that key of everybody's good, I can't strike everybody out, learn to trust your defense, I think you then become more successful as a pitcher and kind of understanding your role. Because that's obviously that's out of your control, right? You can't control what the batter does in the box. So learning that and her getting comfortable with that, and I'm seeing it play out, live here against Florida State Seminoles. So like you said, she's doing something right.
Kaylee Mudge now steps up to the plate, looks to bunt. Alex Rivero's got more on Kaylee Mudge. What you got, Alex?
One player that the UNF pitching staff is really going to have to look out for is Kaylee Mudge. Coach Alameda says that the reason Kaylee is such a great hitter is because of how consistent she is. Whether it's in practice or in the classroom or on the field, Lonnie says that Kaylee's routine of consistency is so important to her. And she does it with a smile. But when Haley gets serious, that's when everyone knows it's time for battle. Trevor?
That's right, Alex. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's usually the case when Kaylee Mudge doesn't have a smile on her face, if she's either negative or something, if something happened maybe in the classroom or something, it's like, we might be in for a battle today. So Kaylee Mudge is certainly a tone setter.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been smiling ever since I known her in high school. So
yeah, you're a former player here, so you kind of saw some up-and-coming recruits that would come to the camps that Lonnie would do.
Yeah, fun fact, actually, I used to give Mudge hitting lessons down with Pro Swings in Central Florida area, and it's kind of cool just knowing she was going to Florida State and kind of helping her and preparing for that. And she's really just done such an amazing job. You talk about her as a leadoff, consistent, and that's what you want in a leadoff. You want to be consistent, quality at bats, get the hits. Obviously, you're not going to be 100% successful, but consistent is the word that is described, and that's what makes a great leadoff hitter great.
Mudge lined it right down the first base line, but it goes right to Logan Jackson, who's been a magnet over there at first base in this inning.
Yeah, I mean, really just talking about obviously the success of those three players that you just named in the team, but really the takeaways I think from Clearwater is knowing that Florida State can compete with the best. Not that it was a question, but really just putting it out there, competing with the best. Like you said, all 5 games versus ranked teams in the top 25. So no game was easy. No game was just a walk in the park, which no game really ever is. But really just having the opportunity to compete, really get that postseason feel, really get the pressure moments for a lot of the players, the young players. I think about Muffley in that last at-bat against Alabama, just having the opportunity to walk it off for her team. So, really just putting that postseason feel in the beginning of the season, second week, is just crazy.
Really brings out and really dusts off the rust, gets things going, the juice is flowing. First pitch out of the zone from Kat Sandercock. Alex has more on Florida State and the Clearwater Invitational.
Thanks, Trevor. It was a long weekend for the Seminoles at the Clearwater Invitational, where they went 3-2. But the fun's not over yet. Number 6, Florida State, is preparing after today to play 5 games over the next 3 days. Coach Lonnie Alameda was telling me that between competing against the top teams in the country and the travel schedule, it's been really emotionally exhausting for these girls. But the good news is the camaraderie between the girls, despite being so exhausted, has really brought the team together. We'll see how that manifests tonight on the field. Trevor?
Thank you, Alex. Well, finally, the ice has been broken in this game. First base hit belongs to the Ospreys here in the top of the 4th, and Shannon Glover getting the job done And that brings up Chloe Culp.
Yeah, and talking about just if the Ospreys want to be successful here tonight, Harper is one of those players you highlight, and then you also highlight Glover in the number 3 spot who just got that base hit, and then obviously Culp in the number 4 spot to see if they can do some damage to kind of help their team offensively.
And she gets frozen right there by Sandercock, 0-1.
She knows this is no surprise for Chloe Culp. She has faced Kat Sandercock in practice, I'm sure, multiple times. She knows exactly what she is going to get.
Swings this one, and that one is just foul before Hartley could touch it with the glove. 0-2, and those conversations with Coach Conrad, there was admittedly maybe some nervousness, but it really kind of showed itself here just before as we were watching. Kind of get ready for the game, Tiffany, just how amazing it was to see, her just embrace her former teammates outside of the Florida State dugout. As you take a look at what Culp has done here in an Osprey uniform, and it is nothing short of spectacular. Look at that batting average, and already has a multitude of runs batted in, way ahead of anybody else on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really not surprising, and like you just kind of highlighted, it's not like Chloe left on a bad note. I mean, the embrace just literally gave me chills. It's all love. Everybody wants to see everybody do well. And in this scenario, the Seminoles want to see Chloe Culp do well. Maybe not right now against them tonight, but, as she continues to move forward. And she's already off, like you said, to a hot start. And really just stepping into more of a leadership role there with the Ospreys and getting the opportunity to play every day.
Oh, and she gets rung up. Tough pitch to take. Bottom inside corner. One away here.
Yeah, and Kat Sandercock just doing what she does, that drop ball, painting the inside corner, and getting the strikeout looking.
Yeah, that's hard to take. So a very nice welcome home, though, for Chloe Culp here by Florida State. And Coach Lonnie Alameda said she's a Seminole at heart for years on end. Ground ball on the infield. Hartley over to second base. Gets the force at second. So a fielder's choice gets the lead runner of Shannon Glover, as Reagan Hermeling will now take over at first. 2 away. And you even see Glover's like, yeah, I got the first hit. All right. We're on the board here.
And it was off Catherine Sandercock. I mean, I would be celebrating that myself.
And that's actually the dynamic with Glover and Culp that Jeff Conrad was so elated by, of trying to get players in to try and protect Glover in that 3-hole. Because that was one of the things he's told us, was that I really don't have anybody right now coming out of fall. I was like, I don't have anybody behind Glover to really hit for in terms of, protecting Glover. Is she going to see any pitches? Well, you add in a Chloe Culp who's come in and just, been bombs away to start the season. Now he's wondering, well, who's going to hit behind Culp? Now he's got another problem on his hands, or at least a different one. 0-2.
Yeah, but I think that's where that culture comes in, to kind of knowing, Glover, you highlight. Now you have Culp, you highlight. And you need the other teammates to step in. And so that culture, I think, is what's going to help kind of knowing their job and their role in protecting those 2 hitters.
Yeah, they call Glover and Culp the ideal fit. At least Culp an ideal fit, but obviously that's really what you want. You want a solid 3 and an excellent 4 right behind each other to clean things up at the top of that order. And Savannah Chanel gets her first look at Kat Sandercock tonight. 1 runner on, 2 out here in the top of the 4th. And Kat Sandercock looking to close things down, and she does. It's Chanel swinging out of the zone. UNF finally on the board with the hit, but it's still no score between the Ospreys and the Seminoles. No score between the Ospreys and the Seminoles as we enter the bottom of the 4th. Seminole crowd trying to get organized, trying to will their team on. With some chants and some fire from the crowd.
And you talk about just the good crowd, but really I think a testament to the atmosphere, the new additions here.
First pitch, Mac Leonard grounds right over to second base. Hadley Reichert retires her 1 away. A lot of quick outs tonight, Tiffany, by Ashley Connor. She's getting Florida State to swing early. That certainly bodes well for her as she continues to do an excellent job. Only allowed a couple walks so far this evening, and those came in the last inning here, and a little poke grounder right back to Connor, and 2 are away off the bat of Kaylee Harding.
Yeah, you mentioned quick outs. I mean, especially right there from Mac Leonard and Kaylee Harding, and really just seeming a little unsure on their swings, and really would love to see them maybe choose what pitch they're going to attack and get their swing off. And, of course, it takes just one hit, one at-bat, just kind of get that momentum going. So, you know, it's nothing that Florida State can't handle per se, but really would love to see them kind of be intentional in their swings and aggressive as they continue to face Connor.
As now Katie Dack steps in as a designated player tonight. What's also interesting about North Florida's pitching staff, as Dack skies this one to deep left center field, and that will break the ice in the run column.
Right on cue.
Katie Dack is back with a home run, her 4th of the season, and gives the Seminoles a 1-0 lead.
But Dack, like I just talked about, kind of just really be intentional in the swing. She gets a really good pitch up in the zone, does a great job, stays through it. I mean, off the bat, you knew it was gone, kind of literally a moonshot out of here. So great job right there by Dack and picking up her teammates. We talked about those 2 outs before, and Mac Leonard and Kaylee Harding, and I literally just saying it takes one pitch, one swing, and Dack did it for me.
Couldn't have come in a better time for Florida State as you really started to feel the momentum start to shift in North Florida's favor a little more in the top of the 4th when they got that first hit from Shannon Glover. First pitch out of the zone to Devin Flaherty.
And if you're Connor, I mean, I really wouldn't take the home run. I think you try to find a positive in the situation of at least it was a solo home run. You know Florida State has a potent lineup. They are capable of hitting home runs, so you mark that as somewhat of a win.
This one floated into shallow right center, and it'll go over the head of Reichert. So Flaherty's on board, and quickly Florida State has accumulated 2 outs. Or two hits, I should say. They did accumulate 2 outs, and they get 2 hits right back.
Yeah, again, you just see very nice spot right there by Connor on the hands of Flaherty, but just strong enough to muscle it over and dump it into right field there for a base hit. And like you mentioned, quick 2 outs to start the inning, but a quick 2 hits to follow that up. Like I said, it really just only takes one swing to kind of get that momentum going.
What can Janiyah Kerr do to build off this momentum? There goes Flaherty down to second, and she just beats the tag. So she's got herself a stolen base, her 9th of the season, and the hesitation by Mackenzie Woods behind the plate maybe allowed Flaherty to get in there.
Yeah, again, there you see just a very good jump right there by Flaherty. Whoa.
Yeah, I think you saw what I saw, too.
I think you saw what I saw. Right?
I don't think, it looks like Flaherty was off the bag when the tag was applied by Chanel. But no replay coming, so Flaherty gets away with one.
Umpire said she was safe, so that's what we go with. They don't have the luxury of seeing the replay like we do.
Unless perhaps the glove was not on Flaherty per se when she was off the bag, but boy, that is as close as it gets. Probably certainly escaped with one there.
Yeah, almost looked like she just got stuck. She was sliding into second.
Now 2-1 to Kerr. Kerr was the lone contributor in the game against Alabama at the end of the Clearwater Invitational. She provided a solo home run in what was a 2-1 final that went to the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, what a big swing for her, I think, down there in Clearwater against the Crimson Tide off of Montana Fouts, right? Very big confidence boost. She's been kind of in and out of the lineup so far early. Not her highest batting average, really just kind of trying to find her way offensively, and I think that big swing is just what you need. Hitting is about confidence as well, right? So I think, getting that big hit, big blast, really good at-bats that night, and I think that's helped kind of work her way in the lineup tonight too.
Another foul by Kerr. Same direction, and the count remains the same at 1-2. And really, with Janai Kerr, Lonnie Almeida's talked about how it's really confidence is everything with her. When she's up, she's as dangerous as can be out there with her speed defensively. She has certainly made some great plays in her day over her career, and even at the plate, as we saw against the Tide, she has home run capabilities and certainly can put the ball in play anywhere. Still 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, confidence is everything. And this is such a mental game. The game of softball is so mental. And so once you get inside of your head just a little bit, you know, you start questioning everything. You start second-guessing yourself. And you really don't have time for that, especially while you're in the batter's box. So if you have that confidence, really just trusting yourself.
Did Kerr go around? She did not, according to the third base umpire. Very close.
That was tough.
Take another look. You be the judge.
Yeah, you see Connor kind of step in or come in really hard towards that back knee of Janai Kerr. I think she held up there.
Kerr just put the emergency brake on just in time before going overboard. Shot right back at Connor, but it is gathered at short by Chanel, and she gets it to get Kerr out at first. Great play, heads-up play by Savannah Chanel, but it was the home run. The DAC attack in full force here in Tallahassee. 1-0 Seminoles as we head to the top of the fifth. Seminoles have taken the lead here as we enter the fifth inning. Number 6 Florida State up 1-0 on the North Florida Ospreys. Trevor DeGroat and Tiffany Brown, along with Alex Rivera, welcome you to Tallahassee, Florida, and Joanne Graff Field here on ACCNX. With some awesome softball action as we're just still in the early stages of the road to the Women's College World Series. Pretty humid night here in Tallahassee. 70 degrees, you might think, oh, that's awesome, but it's winter time, so it's a little high even for Florida standards as Kat Sandercock re-enters the circle to begin her third inning of work on the evening.
I'm sure we're just glad that there is no rain coming down. Not like 40 degrees.
You and Florida State softball both, and even North Florida. There was a huge storm here to start things off a couple weeks ago to kick off the 2023 season. As you see, first pitch ball to Mackenzie Woods. That really got everybody off track. A lot of teams, you know, and a lot of different tournaments around, invitationals around the country, especially in particular the Southeast. So a couple of cancellations and rescheduling. Speaking of which, UNF, this is their second game at Joanne Graff Field today. They came away with a 1-0 victory over the Florida A&M Rattlers, who also did some rescheduling with Florida State last week. Strike on the inside part of the zone, 2-1. In fact, Florida A&M was able to add a game with Florida State because they were only able to play 3 of 5 games to start their opening weekend in Macon, Georgia. And so Lonnie Almeida granted them that. Maybe she cut a deal that says, hey, you know what, we're playing UNF on this day. You play them over on our field, perhaps. That's only speculative, though. 2-2.
Very much so speculative. But, hey, it's nothing wrong with getting a game. I mean, wherever you can get one in. And, of course, fantastic facility here at Joanne Graff Field. I don't think you could decline the offer if that was the offer.
Kat Sandercock with a 2-2 count gets a chopper over to third base. Hartley does not get this one up, and that will go to the fence as Woods will race over to second base. So after an amazing play in the field at third by Christina Hartley in the second inning, she gives one right back here in the fifth.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Woods kind of get ahead of that roll over it. It really just looks like she tried to just lob it over there and just, hey, go ahead and gun it. Go ahead and get rid of it, gun it. You see Woods kind of do what she's supposed to do, to take that turn to second base immediately, no hesitation. And the Ospreys have what they want. Just, you see Florida State take the lead, bottom half of the inning. Now the Ospreys get their opportunity and they get a leadoff, era. runner that reaches on an air, but you don't want to give that momentum back if you're the Florida State Seminoles. So
the old adage, throw it, don't aim it, maybe coming into play there. Maybe Hartley did a little bit of aiming, had some time on her hands over there at third base, perhaps.
just a little short arm, just seen so many good third basemen here at
You've
Florida
seen
State.
you've seen a few of those in your day, Tiffany.
I definitely have. Hey,
Let's look at that pitching coach.
errors happen.
Here's that pitching.
That's Sandercock, though, getting right back on track. Good job of crossing Abby Annette right up there on the inside part of the plate. Pitch number 30 on the way is Annette looking to do a squeeze bunt. Maybe a sacrifice on the way with nobody out and a runner already in scoring position.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kat Sandercock, she's a veteran. She's a veteran pitcher. Her job here is getting out for her team, right? You don't want that snowball effect to kind of allow that momentum to continue to build for the Ospreys.
Bunt dropped. Here it is. Hartley this time right on target at first base. Good job by Devin Flaherty of covering over at first for Mac Leonard. So one away here, but mission accomplished by Annette to get Woods over to third.
Yeah, does a great job right there. You see her square early, get that bat head out, really get on top of that ball, and she knows what she's supposed to do is get that ball down and move her teammate over to third, and she does just that. And on the flip side, Hartley, what a great play to pick up her error on the play before.
Here's Hadley Reichert. See if she can get the Ospreys on the board. Infield in for the Seminoles. Caught right by Sandercock in the circle, right back to her, and two are down. And the Noles will head back into the infield. Heads up play by Kat Sandercock, not just known for her pitching, but for that leather. Good snag.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really just a shot right back up the middle. And you see the reaction there from Catherine Sandercock. This isn't something that is new to her. Florida State Seminoles take a lot of pride not only in their defense for the infield and the outfield, but also for the pitchers. They call it PFP, pitchers fielding practice, and this isn't new. So great play right there by Catherine Sandercock, really just, again, picking up her teammate there and helping her team get that second out.
One of the better fielding pitchers.
Really a excellent fielding pitcher as well, as you mentioned there, Tiffany. So PFP coming into play for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she caught that ball like, yeah, this is just what I do. You see her ball to strike ratio for tonight, 8 balls, 24 strikes. That's what you love to see if you're a pitching coach. If you're a young girl out there and you're aspiring to be a pitcher, not that I was a pitcher, but I know you want to obviously throw more strikes than you throw balls, and you want that to be a huge disparity between the two. So
back to the top of the order is UNF, and this one is lined to center, but dropped by Janai Kerr. Oh, she had it in her glove. That would have been the third out. Florida State was walking back to the dugout. They thought it was automatic, but instead it's an error. You can see the faces in the dugout for Florida State. They can't believe it, and it's 1-1.
yeah, I don't think anybody can. I mean, really just kind of just close that glove a little bit too early and kind of squeeze it out. But you see the Ospreys, they know exactly what's going on, and you take a run however you can get it. So you got to have some short-term memory right there if you're Janai Kerr. I know she's still thinking about that. Got to let it go. Really next pitch here for her team.
Strike, throw down to second base is safe, is the call for Harper. Boy, she's got a bolt of energy after that little mistake in the outfield, and she collects her 7th stolen base, and all of a sudden, another runner in scoring position for the Ospreys.
Yeah, we talked about that elite speed right there in Harper, and she does a great job. Again, I love the sliding hard into second base when you're stealing the bag, and you see that on display right there.
Just got the cleats on the top of the bag in time before that tag was applied. Swing and a miss, 0-2 to Logan Jackson. And you saw it. I mean, Kerr had the ball obviously in the glove, just didn't grasp it. And Woods just casually strolled to home plate thinking, okay, we'll see what happens. And then she heard that charge like, whoa, wait, what happened? And she had to look back.
Yeah.
But just still went along with the business. And North Florida still right in this game. But Kat Sandercock keeps it with just one run crossing the plate. So a mistake in the field by Florida State allows the Ospreys to tie things up again. 1-1 the score. As a couple of fielding errors by Florida State allowed the Ospreys to get on the scoreboard. 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. State that have allowed them to get into this game, and Glover with the first hit of the game with a 1 for 2 tonight with a single. It's been really difficult for the hitters to get things going, so the pitching really doing a nice job on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Florida State, first you got to have short-term memory. It's a 0-0 ball game, right? It's exactly where we just left off, and you really got to, again, start your quality at bats from this plate appearance in Edenfield. See if you can get that momentum kind of swung back your way.
Big fight feel for sure as Edenfield takes a strike from Ashley Connor, who's still going strong here, entering the fifth inning.
Really doing a great job. I mean, she has, in my opinion, outside of the home run by Katie Dack, I mean, the Florida State Seminoles haven't really hit her hard, haven't really squared her up. I think it's a testament to her spin and really just kind of keeping the Florida State Seminoles off balance. But what the Seminoles need right now are base runners and quality at bats to see if they can get some momentum going and some runs on the board.
Jeff Conrad's pitching staff is not exactly filled with girls that really light up the radar gun. He talked about how really they only have one pitcher who really can hit it around the 70-mile-per-hour mark. That's Jolie Gustav, number 17, who can really throw with velocity, but really everybody else kind of goes 60, 62, so low 60s, but they really hit their spots. And really, you got to credit Ashley Connor tonight. She really has not looked erratic too many times. A couple of balls going a little bit high, flip change maybe leaving her a little bit early on the release, but outside of that, she's really been hitting her marks for the most part. A couple of things out of the zone, maybe not the best walk-to-strike ratio, but still, when you can limit Florida State's offensive production, you're doing some really good things.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, kudos to Connor in the circle, but also to her defense. So when you know that you have a pitcher that's not high strikeout, right? They're kind of more so a pitch to contact. You got to have your defensive hat on, knowing every pitch I'm locked in. You got to be behind your pitcher, making the plays, making the routine plays, and then also making those next level plays to kind of get your team over the hump. So I think kudos all around right now for the Ospreys, the pitching and defense.
2-2 to Edenfield. Puts out that left hand to say, yeah, that's outside. She did that in her first at-bat, too, I noticed. 3-2.
Yeah, hey, Blue, remember, I'm the catcher, so I know the zone.
Maybe she wants to be an umpire one day. She's kind of making that out there. That's where that went.
Letting you know.
Makes the call herself. Full count pitch. Edenfield stays alive, fouls it to the top of the batting cages. A double-decker batting cage, I should say. Really good addition. Almost 10 years ago that structure was built. And now it's got some premier seating that was implemented in the offseason.
It continues to get better, and I'm sure.
Strikeout by Connor. Gets Edenfield to climb the ladder, and she heads back to the dugout. One away.
Yeah, kind of going up in the zone right here, kind of changing that eye level of Edenfield, getting her to chase. Edenfield can't lay off, and great pitch right there by Connor. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do on her end, to come out. Her team just tied up the game, come out, get that first out, have the defense kind of settle in. You want that momentum to stay on your side.
Very impressive, 4 1/3. Allowing just 2 hits. The 1 home run to Dack is the only earned run, and the 1 run given to Florida State. 2 walks and 1 strikeout. Substitution here. Pinch hitting is Hallie Waycaser, who just celebrated a birthday yesterday. But right back to work in the next day. She gets the call.
That's right. It's no such thing as days off.
Love to unwrap a late birthday present with a run scored here in the bottom of the 5th to get the Noles the lead back. It takes a close one just outside, 1-1.
So far, so good right there with Waycaser coming off the bench, getting the pinch hit opportunity.
She goes after this one. It's falling down in center field and is unable to gather it is Harper, and the ball squirts underneath the glove of Connor covering second base, and Waycaser finds herself on second base. Some heads-up base running and a little luck in the outfield. Happy birthday, Miss Waycaser.
Looks like we have a hurt player, but you see Waycaser gets jammed a little bit, but really she doesn't stress. She hustles out of the box, and she sees, I think the reason why she went to second is that she saw second base was unoccupied for a little bit. You have the pitcher coming over, and, you know, our pitchers, they stay in the circle a little bit, and so she gets lucky there with Connor dropping the ball there and allowing her to stand up on second base.
Well, unfortunately, not everybody came away standing off that one. Injury out there for North Florida. I believe that's Savannah Chanel, who was trying to chase after that ball as Harper came in to try and make the sliding catch. Good to see Chanel standing up a little bit, trying to shake it off. It's like lower body injury potentially. Those are always so scary, Tiffany, just those moments. And the thing you got to remember about the softball is it's a much smaller field. Obviously, you see baseball, it's so much more wider. Those collisions can happen, and they can cover so much ground, but so can the women here in softball. And it's close proximity, though. And you just got to keep your head on a swivel. But, of course, you got to just be ready for anything and just be alert and just react. If you have that ball in your sights, you're going to go chase it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about just the close proximity, and that's why that communication is just so important between the infield, outfield. And it's hard, right? Because, I mean, you have Chanel there going back hard for her pitcher, and you have Harper coming in hard for her pitcher to try to make that play. And sometimes you just, forget to communicate, or even if you do forget, sometimes you are communicating, you can't hear, your teammate. And unfortunately, those collisions happen. And let's just see kind of just close. You see both of them just looking at the ball, going in hard. Now, Chanel tries at the last minute. She realizes that Harper comes in, and when Harper slides, she kind of gets that lower end, that shin area there of Chanel, which isn't fun, right? But glad to see her up and walking, and she's going to stay in there for her team. They're not going to get her out of the game that easy.
Probably just took a nasty fall. I mean, she definitely had to elevate herself to avoid Kayla Harper and got a little bit of elevation right there. And it might be grass out there, but that doesn't mean the Earth's crust is going to give you any forgiveness on grass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see her walk it off, and she's got some chuckles there, so a good laugh, and looks like she'll be able to continue to play.
Those are the best laughs. I really wish I knew what the joke was. I want to be in on the joke, but I mean, just kind of reminiscing, just the inner conversations, the game within a game, and then the conversations you have with your teammates, on the field. So glad to see her laughing, glad to see her back at shortstop, and glad for her team, to still have her behind her.
Well, to reset things, one out here now in the bottom of the 5th, and Waycaser winding up at second after that play as Muffley, for the second time in as many at-bats, looks to drop the bunt, and yet it's a pitch way high in the zone. She has to duck her head.
We talked about Mudge earlier and just how she smiles. Muffley is just game face all day. Look, that pitch comes at her head. This is the second time the pitch just comes at her head. Nothing. It's just about business. I love it.
It's kind of like,
I love both sides.
Kind of like heads and tails, yin and yang between Mudge and Josie Muffley in a way. And it's funny. Mudge is at the top of the order, Muffley at the bottom of the order, so you flip the batting order just like that between the two of them. Pitch outside, and Muffley with the excellent discipline, dragging this count out to 3-0. I just want a pitch to hit here, or just to let me do my thing.
Yeah, and that's good right there. Just quality at bat so far by Muffley. You see her squaring around, but she's not going to force a bunt. She's going to make Connor bring it over the plate.
And you called it. You're a prophet there, Tiffany. 3-1. Fouled away, 3-2. So again, a 1-1 game here. Florida State looking to retake the lead. Got out to a 1-0 lead in the fourth off the home run from Katie Dack, but a couple of errors in the top of the fifth by Florida State. Got one run to cross for the Ospreys. So here we are, 3-2. Muffley, sharp ground ball over to third. Excellent job over at third by Abby Annette.
Yeah, that was a great play right there by Annette. Really just staying low. That third base is such a hot corner. So kudos to those who play it. But, I mean, really just staying in her legs right there and looking Waycaster back so she can advance as well and making a good play, a good throw over to her teammate at first base.
Now Mudge tasked with the duty of getting Waycaster home here in the fifth. First pitch swinging, and that is past left field of Shannon Glover. And Mudge comes through big time and gets Waycaster across the plate. It is 2-1 Seminoles. Kaylee Mudge back at it again with another clutch base hit.
Yeah, we talked about that consistency again. A pitch up in the zone, outside, and Mudge does Mudge things. Really stays on that pitch. Let the pitch get deep. Stays on it and drives it to the left center gap to get her teammate in and to assist in allowing her team to take the lead.
My back end.
So more two-out production here in this game by Florida State. Mac Leonard will look to keep the train going here. Just missing the corner is Connor, 1-0. We talked about Mudge, obviously, with her consistency. She just has such a routine. She always, puts the hat on the helmet, or the hand on the helmet, takes the deep breath, just cancels that last pitch out of her brain and just goes with it, the next one, with that approach. Leonard with a gapper in left center field. That's going to head to the wall. Here comes Mudge, standing up, and it's a stand-up double for Leonard. Back-to-back doubles gives Florida State 2 runs here in the fifth. 3-1 Florida State.
Yeah, what a great job right there. And Mac Leonard, you see again that pitch up in the zone again by Connor outside. Leonard does a great job, lets that pitch travel and stays through it and drives it almost identical to where Mudge hit it in the left center gap, and does a great job right there. A double-double to get a run home for the Seminoles.
Noles finding their stride and getting productive at-bats and runs scored here in the fourth and fifth innings, as looks like Jeff Conrad is out of the dugout. And that might be it for Ashley Connor, who, got to give her credit, she has hung tough this entire game. From start to finish, looks like she's going to stay in this one. So she will stay in the circle for the time being. Jeff Conrad wants her to finish this fifth inning out. I admire the confidence there. Sometimes this be the chance right here for a coach to make that switch. You see your pitcher struggling a little bit. Maybe it's time to change things up, but sometimes you also want to have that trust in your pitcher to get the job done, finish things off, and let me clean up my own mess.
Yeah, and remember, they're working towards the end of the season as well, right? So, hey, this little adversity. I mean, really, Connor has not done a bad job tonight. She's really done very well. I think the problem with those last two pitches, they're up in the zone. You've seen her kind of stay low in the zone, spin that curve ball into the lefties, and then also kind of stand under their hands. on those last two pitches you saw up in the zone, really allowing both Mudge and Mac Leonard to extend and stay through those pitches.
This one popped up just in foul territory, and it falls just beyond third base as Abby Annette could not find it, maybe lost it in the lights. And Harding stays alive here.
Yeah, that ball was in the air for so long. You know, it probably would have been good. You kind of see that ball was in the air for so long, but she looked lost right about there and would have loved to see her teammate and Chanel kind of come over and try to help her. You know, you never want to assume that your teammate's going to catch that fly ball.
Strike by Connor, right back at Harding, 1-2. And, you know, it could be something where maybe you lose it in the darkness, or maybe it's something where you saw Mac Leonard rounding third a little bit, hearing footsteps. You know, remember there's that old play way back when where I think Alex Rodriguez yelled something to a third baseman and he forced him to try and drop the ball. So you never know what factors could come out. This one fouled down the right field line, and it'll just get out of reach of Chloe Culp.
And again, too, I mean, I think just we talked about the communication earlier, but those are kind of the little things in thinking of the Ospreys and them trying to get to the next level that you got to take advantage of. That communication within the game of, you know, not just how many outs it is, but hey, just let you know, the lights are kind of blinding me. So if I get a pop-up, you see I can't catch it, you know, come help me out, right? You know, that kind of just, that communication that takes you to the next level.
Another foul by Harding as Connor has reached 80 pitches. One thing to keep in mind here, Tiffany, is that UNF doesn't have really their ace available right now. Hallie Aarons is hopeful to be back with this club at some point here in the season, and it really, though, has given Jeff Conrad an opportunity to see what depth he has and if they can develop that depth over time. As this was another foul ball close to the fence, and again, Annette unable to identify it and running into some obstacles around third base and towards the foul area. But just to go back to the pitching staff point, you know, they're set up more as a pitching staff this year, and even with Aarons away, who is the ASUN pitcher of the year right now coming into 2023, you know, they don't exactly have like a Kat Sandercock on the other side, but you know, 1 week it could be a pitcher like a Ashley Connor who could take over, but then it could change. So it's almost a discovery period right now for UNF with what they've got. Another foul by Harding.
Yeah, absolutely. But what a testament. I mean, you don't have your ace. You're here playing the number 6 team in the nation. You have Connor here competing, really being very effective and holding the number 6 team in the nation to 3 runs thus far. I mean, I think that's just kind of a bright sign if you're a North Florida Osprey and what the future holds when you do get your ace back right in the air.
And it'll make everybody else get some quality at-bats in the process. This is a battle right now with Kaylee Harding.
Yeah. You talk about a battle, I mean, just thinking of those few opportunities, additional opportunities that Harding has, you don't want to give her too many swings. And so far, I mean, I think she's just getting more on time and on time and on time to get a really good quality swing off here.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming up. This one outside of the zone, 2-2. I mentioned Hallie Aarons was a 20-game winner. So knowing that they have her coming back at some point, you can find out what you have. And it's nights like this that could make you certainly stronger and more durable down the line when come conference time, conference play with the ASUN. Another foul by Harding. 12th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what a battle. This is a quality at-bat right here in Harding, getting some additional help from the Osprey defense and allowing her to get some extra swings, but very, very quality at-bat right here.
You called it earlier on how Coach Lonnie Alameda liked how Kaylee was putting together some professional at-bats. Here's another one for you. Swings, and it's another foul. Just can't put the ball in play. This one goes to the crowd on the hill down there in deep left field.
Yeah, I love that word, professional. I mean, professional. She the way she attacks, the way she comes and steps into the box. I mean, everything about her is business. And she really has some professional at-bats so early in this year. You see, Cookie.
Like, I'm off balance too, just like Lonnie is. It's like, come on, let's put this in play.
The anxiety. Like
Another pitch, though. This one is a ball, and now finally the count is full.
pressure is building.
We're in the teens here of this at bat, and the coaching staff trying to stay loose over there. Kaylee Rafter and Lonnie Alameda who really take charge of the pitching here for Florida State. And this is a walk. So after all that, it ends up being a walk. A little stroll to first base for Kaylee Harding, but hey, well earned.
Well earned. I mean, I think that's an understatement, right?
In the crowd giving some claps for that too. I mean, obviously it's a hometown crowd, but certainly I think everybody can appreciate what a battle that was.
Yes.
A war, even if one might say. And Harding will depart for now as Autumn Belvi will come in to pinch run. It's like, I think you worked the legs enough in that at-bat trying to stay locked and loaded, so I'll give you some reprieve. But Ashley Connor, hey, going strong here. 88 pitches. Really going to the reserve tank here in the bottom of the fifth, trying to keep this a 2-run game. And she now faces Katie Dack. Dack, first pitch swing on the infield, out of play, 0-1. There's Belvi over at first.
Now, I'm just looking at this scenario right now. Runners on first and second. And kind of just, you see Katie Dack really just taking a good pitch and thinking of that last at bat where she hit that home run. If I'm an Osprey, you shouldn't be thinking about this, but just those missed opportunities to get out of the inning, and you find yourself in this position to possibly give up, an additional runs and really facing a good hitter in Dack.
Had the home run that got Florida State the lead in the fourth. Now she's got runners on for more run production if she can put the ball in play, or, hey, send it over the wall again. You never know. 1-2. So it has been 2 outs for a while here for UNF. Just not been able to put the Seminoles away here. Dack with that home run not only takes the lead in home runs, but also runs batted in for the Seminoles. 4 homers to 12 runs batted in. Now 2-2.
Yeah, really just, again, want to see a quality at bat right here in Dack, seeing if she can get her teammates home.
Another full count, 3-2. You got to wonder how much Connor has left in her tank. A couple of pitches now, maybe one too many getting away from her.
Yeah,
still Tiffany, she battled through Harding really nicely, but now those pitches are maybe releasing a little too late.
Yeah. Well, and the only thing I can think of is, when you face teams like this, you don't want to give extra outs. I mean, Harding had about 2 extra outs there, and then you had the long battle. You don't want to give that. Obviously, that's more grind on your pitcher. More pitches she has to throw. More leg drive she has to push off the mound. Just kind of thinking of, again, as the Ospreys continue to kind of move forward in their season. Just those little things right there, those are the things that are going to take you to that next level.
3-2. And this one is out of the zone, and Florida State forcing back-to-back walks. And now the bases are loaded here. And that might finally do it here for Ashley Connor as Jeff Conrad comes out of the dugout and have the discussion with the on-plane umpire. And that indeed appears to be the case, but what a performance by Ashley Connor.
Stepping up to the plate for the Noles, number 9, Devin Clare.
Tiffany, this is a big moment here for Skylar Stockey, trying to get out of this inning without more damage coming across for Florida State, who already has 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. And
Yeah.
now facing Devin Flaherty.
I think what you're going to see, Coach really highlighted her drop ball, and that's something that you want in this scenario.
Oh, this one's tagged deep by Flaherty, but it will drift foul out of play, 0-1.
As I say that, and then Flaherty is a nice, hey, welcome to the game. But, hey, long strike right there if you're an Osprey. But I would say look for something down. Really try to stay through that drop ball and drive in some additional runs if you're Flaherty.
This one going deep to center field, but under it is Harper, and that will be all she wrote for Florida State in the bottom of the 5th. So only 2 runs come for Florida State here in the 5th, but it gets Florida State the lead back. The back-to-back doubles by Kaylee Mudge and Mac Leonard. Waycaser and Mudge score. Florida State has a 2-run lead with 2 innings left. We head to the 6th.
A ballet studio, an architecture firm, and homemade barbecue sauce. They're called small businesses, but to the people who build them, there's nothing small about them. That's why at T-Mobile for Business, you'll save more than $1,000 versus Verizon. And with Price Lock Guarantee, we'll never raise your rate plan, so you can keep your focus on toe turns and making sure the sauce is extra spicy. At T-Mobile, there are no small businesses.
President's Day sale comes to Kia of downtown LA with new cars. Save gas with a new Kia vehicle, like the 2023 Kia Niro Hybrid. We also have the all-electric Kia EV6 or the redesigned 2023 Kia Sportage. Also available, the new family 2023 Kia Telluride and many new hybrid and electric models. It's a President's Day sale only at Kia of downtown LA, next to the 10 freeway at Figueroa and Washington in downtown Los Angeles.
Top of the 6th, 3-1 Florida State. Shannon Glover back up for UNF, and Alex Rivero has more on UNF's fantastic left fielder. Alex.
Chloe Culp really does have the inside scoop for both teams right now. Coach Conrad said that they used Culp as a valuable asset this week to probe her for intel on the FSU pitching staff. But besides wanting the lowdown on the Seminoles, Conrad says that Culp has been a great addition to the team and has been extremely well respected amongst her teammates and the coaching staff. Trevor?
Thanks, Alex, and giving some extra stuff on Chloe Culp. So he's right behind Shannon Glover, and she gets to face Kat Sandercock here in the 6th. Hard shot right past the glove of Avery Weisbrook, who's in at third base now, and good start for UNF here in the 6th.
Just thinking Glover is the only hitter, right, that got a hit off of Sandercock, and now she has 2. Really being aggressive, hopping on those first 2 pitches and driving it through the left side of the infield.
That'll bring up Chloe Culp, who Alex was just talking about. And certainly when you have a former player who has been in those meetings, who has been in the daily grind with Florida State, you will dig through that brain of hers and see if you can dig out any sort of valuable information that you can find. First pitch to Culp from Sandercock here in the 6th is fouled away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she not only has she been there, I mean, she's been here for multiple years and also had the opportunity. She was just here in the fall, so it's not like it's far removed for her. As you see her lineup just for this season, the 444 batting average, 2 home runs. She's really doing a great job. I really think highlight that 18 RBIs as well.
Came into the day at 500. I mean, it's because they 0 for 2 still early in the season. That batting average starting to drop, but can't say enough. Jeff Conrad certainly has said she has come as advertised, if not more so. And she has really just exploded onto the scene for UNF. Already got an ASUN Player of the Week, Softball Player of the Week honor under her belt early in 2023. Culp goes down and digs it, and that'll head over to Kaylee Mudge. So Culp 0 for 3 in her return to Tallahassee. She's a native of Tallahassee too. 1 away here in the 6th. So maybe not the homecoming she was hoping for, obviously on the field, but still a lot of love for Chloe Culp here at Florida State. As Kaylee Mudge, there's that joyful smile we were alluding to of what Kaylee Mudge is all about.
Having a good time. Love to see it.
That usually means Florida State's in for a good night, according to Coach Shwani Alameda. It's just missing to Reagan Hermeling. This one fouled. And just to back up on Culp again, I mean, she had a 6 RBI day over the weekend in a dominating game against Bethune-Cookman for UNF, which was 1 run batted in shy of the program's single game record. And way to make your presence felt into a new program just in a matter of weeks to start the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really not surprising. I mean, just kind of going back from her travel ball days, her in high school, she's had power. We've seen it here at Florida State. She's had power, so it's no surprise. It's really just giving her more opportunities, and she's getting that each day, day in and day out now that she's with the Ospreys. So it's really no surprise. It's a testament to her. She's a good player. Yeah, she's a great player, so glad to see that she's doing well there.
Yeah, in that game, she went 2 for 3, and those 6 runs batted in came on 2 3-run home runs. So Culp has been instrumental to North Florida, and that there you see her looking on, staying engaged with her teammates. Her new home in Jacksonville. And that was something Jeff Conrad said. He wanted to find players in the transfer portal and from programs that have that experience in those kind of winning programs, but in the established programs, but are also winning currently.
Right.
Because that brings that energy and that emphasis of what's working right now that can be brought, that we can learn from them and take with us as well of what we have experienced that can get us once again to winning a conference championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and why not learn from what Florida State is doing, as they've been pretty successful for a number of seasons, and Culp has learned that. She knows what the culture, like you said, like Coach has said, she's Florida State kind of through and out, and kind of just given that opportunity. And you see, as you see, the single just doing a great job taking that pitch right back up the middle.
A good piece of hitting by Reagan Hermeling. We'll pause in the action here.
Yeah, and just to kind of finish that thought too, just bringing that information over, and how cool for Coach Conrad to give Culp the opportunity to share that knowledge, right? I mean, she's a player, she's a new player at that, but really just kind of taking advantage of the opportunity to say, hey, let me learn from you as well, you know, even though you're the player. So I think that's cool, just kind of going both ways.
Now steps in Savannah Chanel once more. This one gets away from Edenfield, and that will move the runners into scoring position, both of them. And so North Florida, once again, with a response here, Tiffany. They responded when Florida State got the lead in the bottom of the 4th with a run in the 5th, thanks to a couple of fielding errors by Florida State. So, again, some plays in the field for the Seminoles, kind of allowing the Ospreys to stay alive here, and they've got a threat going again.
Yeah, again, I mean, really see Edenfield kind of set up there, and the inside almost looked like she got a little crossed up. That pitch looked supposed to be inside, but went outside and kind of just tipped off her glove. That's why you see that timeout. Make sure that everybody's on the same page, right? Hey, let's lock in. And you mentioned just on the flip side, the Ospreys getting that opportunity again to respond. They're right where they want to be, right? You got runners at second, third, less than 2 outs here in the inning, and really they're giving their squad the opportunity to compete, tie the ball game here, maybe even take the lead.
Sandercock finds the zone 1-1. Ospreys looking for their second win all time against the Seminoles in program history. Chanel, we saw the previous inning take a hard bump in the outfield, trying to make a catch in shallow center. This one over the head of Muffley as she tried to charge in, but over pursued, and that one floated into the outfield, and UNF cuts the lead in half, 3-2. 3-2 now the score. So beautiful job by Chanel, just getting the bat on the ball, and it finds its way for a hit.
another great pitch again right there by Sandercock. Really just gets on the hands right there of Chanel, but she does a great job in muscling it out to the outfield, get her teammate in to score.
See what happens now for Florida State. They're delaying perhaps for a pitching substitution. As here comes Lonnie Alameda out to the circle.
Now base running for the Ospreys, number 15, Megan Calandra.
Megan Calandra is going to be pitch running in place of Savannah Chanel over at first base. So Coach Alameda with the conference, and she will make the switch. So Kat Sandercock departing in road. 3-2 the score in favor of the Seminoles for now, with one out here in the top of the sixth, and McKenna Reed will come in to be the third pitcher of the evening for Florida State out of Portland, Oregon. This freshman, Tiffany, has really started to burst on the scenes, got some valuable experience during the Clearwater Invitational, and boy, can she certainly deal as a left-handed flamethrower.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you're going to see from Reed is really, like you said, that velocity. She's going to bring the heat, and really against those right-handed hitters, really working that curveball into their hands and really getting them to be jammed up. So look at freshman pitcher here for the Florida State Seminoles.
First pitch out of the zone. You want to talk about dominance and potential on the college level. Take a look at those numbers. 27-2 her senior year of high school, an ERA under 0.5 runs per game, 438 strikeouts, 6 no-nos, and 3 perfect games. But here's a base hit up the middle, and so UNF is going to tie this game up. Off the bat, I believe, of Kirsten Karaveka. Double zeros coming up. It's a tie ball game. Ospreys battling right back into it.
Yeah, talk about it again. That pitch right there by Reed was supposed to be inside, but it kind of stayed in the middle of the plate. Does a great job right there, taking that pitch back up the middle where the defense was not, and again, scoring her teammate to tie this ball game.
So Kirsten Karaveka out of Davie, Florida, stepping up to the plate, and still with only one out here in the sixth. This is a war brewing between the Ospreys and the Noles.
I mean, I think we kind of highlighted that at the beginning of our opening, and really what to expect from North Florida. It's a scrappy ball club, and you're seeing it on display right now. I mean, each time that Florida State has scored, they have come back to score, kind of find a way to stay in this ball game and really just compete.
Reed has a lot of strong spin on her pitches. You see some of that spin right there. 0-2. Dealing with Abby Annette, who's back at the plate. So Karaveka, who gets on base, took over for Mackenzie Woods in the lineup. Fouled behind the plate. McKenna Edenfield under it. She will make the out and quickly snaps the head around. Make sure nobody else gets to third base or second base. So the runners stay put. 2 outs.
Yeah, very good job right there. I love how Edenfield pops out. She knows this is her home field. You saw her very comfortable right there. She knew that she had room, working really well. Keeping that mask on, too. So you don't see the big flip off of the mask, but working really good, getting that out right there for her defense.
By the way, we should mention defensive changes for Florida State. Bethany Keene is over at first base. In for Mac Leonard. You can see from here from the booth, Mac Leonard is warming up, getting ready in case she needs to be called on for some pitching duties.
Yeah, just to add on to that, to the defensive changes, you saw number 30, Avery Weisbrook over there, taking over for Christina Hartley. So really just a change in the corners. And then also out in center field, Autumn Belvi staying on the field. And then
looks like Janai Kerr's over there moving to right field, taking over for Kaylee Harding. 0-2, and Reed shuts things down against Hadley Reichert. But North Florida gets 2 right back. They have responded every time Florida State has scored. A couple of base hits, getting the job done. This one far from over. Ospreys putting up a fight in Tallahassee. Fans trying to get the tomahawk chop going once again to rally Florida State to get the lead back. From Joanne Graff Field in Tallahassee, Florida, Trevor DeGroat, Tiffany Brown, Alex Rivero bringing you the action as we go to the bottom of the 6th. All tied up between the North Florida Ospreys and the Florida State Seminoles. In steps Janai Kerr to face Skylar Stocky in the circle. 1-0 the first pitch. Kerr 0 for 2 tonight, looking for a base hit to jumpstart a Florida State offense that is going to find their stride here, Tiffany, but so is North Florida, capitalizing on a couple of fielding errors by Florida State.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I mean, that's how you beat good teams, right? You got to capitalize on the opportunities that are given, and they've done that with getting some timely hits to score their teammates. But if you're a Florida State Seminole, you got to respond here and really just get some people on base.
Kerr with a blast to the opposite field, and that'll squeak over the wall.
Hey, girl.
Just like she did against Bama 1 game ago, a solo shot. This one takes the lead. Florida State back in the driver's seat, 4-3 off the bat of Janai Kerr.
Well, I was talking about getting base runners, but, I mean, you know, do it by yourself, Janai Kerr. Way to stay through that pitch on the outside corner. Really does a great job. Just drives that on over the left field wall. I love it for her, and really I love it for her, too, because she made that error that allowed the run to score for the Ospreys, and that was a big gasping moment, that tying run, you know, for the Ospreys. Actually, the first run of the game for them. So that big error, and I think, again, just a testament to that short-term memory. She could still be kind of, you know, sulking over that play. And, hey, don't worry, I got your back. You got to come to the plate and do your job. And she does it right there. So kudos to Janai Kerr.
Well, that's been a popular spot for Florida State hitting tonight. Every run has come because of a hit to left center field. 2 home runs and 2 doubles for Florida State hitting. Home run by Katie Dack. You saw Janai Kerr right there, and then back-to-back doubles. Kaylee Mudge, Mac Leonard in the left center field gap right off the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're the hitting coach, I mean, you love to see that. You want to see your hitters kind of work in the big part of the park. That means they're letting that ball travel. They're staying through the ball, you know, not really pulling, not getting ahead of things. So, quality so far.
Now, Dack, the only right-hander of that bunch to kind of a little bit pull it, but the other 3 have been opposite field.
Good point.
Michaela Edenfield, maybe not known perhaps for her opposite field hits, but certainly can hit it over the yard, get it out of the yard for sure. Certainly capable of hitting it opposite field, but when she pulls it, oh boy, it can go a mile. 2-1. We'll see Kaylee Mudge. She wants to get another crack here, as North Florida will have to rally one more time. They'll be down to their last chance when the top of the 7th comes up. Swing and a miss by Edenfield. She bites for a pitch high out of the zone by Stocky. Stocky's a unique player here, Tiffany. From Canada, Jeff Conrad said she was an elite level goalie, hockey goalie, and he really loves her demeanor in the circle. Really is all business, a lot of seriousness to it, a lot of purpose. This one fouled and caught. Chloe Culp almost getting out of play over there, but she knows this place very well. And she gets the out on Edenfield.
I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, you see her pursuit right there. I kind of see first, second given up, and then Chloe Culp just comes out of nowhere. She was in pursuit of that from the moment it was off the bat. And like you said, she knows this field. She knew exactly how much room she had down the right field line. So great play right there in Chloe Culp and getting that out for her team.
Waycaser takes the first pitch to deep left field, but good job getting under that is Shannon Glover, and all of a sudden it's 2 away for Florida State. So the two premier outfielders for UNF, Chloe Culp and Shannon Glover, getting things done. So you mentioned Culp, yep, definitely is very familiar with this ballpark and this complex. Now Amaya Ross will dig in. She's going to take over for Josie Muffley in the order. 1-0. Culp may not be used to those new seats, though, because this is probably the first time she's seen them actually being used. You mentioned that she was here in the fall. Those are some nice seats, so she probably saw the construction maybe getting started, but there's some nice little seats right out there. Premier seating, part of the batting cages.
Yeah, I talked, on what are we going to name these areas? So we have, the new seating down the left field line, and now we have the upper premier double deck seating down the right field line. I mean, that is absolutely premier seating over there, in support of the softball team. But what a great view. I mean, I just love the addition there to join Graff Field. I think it elevates the atmosphere that you get in playing. So it's so cool to just see this place continue to develop.
Ross battling 1 and 2. Yeah, left field side. It's down the third base line. It's kind of like a backyard, kind of a porch look, which was before a really steep dive in terms of a hill, and people were just sitting down there, and it was not exactly a comfortable seat. You couldn't even really bring your chairs. Now you can bring them onto that little deck that looks like kind of like a home on the back porch. And on the right side, you got it looks like Fenway seats or maybe Wrigley Field. So Florida State, though, departs here in the 6th off the home run from Janai Kerr. They have the lead and will look to close things out in the top of the 7th. They're up 4-3. Last chance for one of those seats, and that's former women's head basketball coach for Florida State, Sue Semrau, and she's getting some love with the crowd, who just retired one season ago and has left the women's basketball program in really good hands right now, and they're having an excellent season, trying to really climb the ladder here in the ACC. For right now, Sue Semrau is really liking what she's seeing out on the softball field, with Florida State out to a 4-3 lead. And McKenna Reed not off to a great start in the 7th inning with an errant pitch, 1-0. But good to see, Sue Semrau here in the building. And, Tiffany, that's one of the things about Florida State, about the community here, with the sports community in particular, and the coaching staffs, and really the head coaches really show a lot of love. They really, when they get the chance, because it's a really busy schedule for sure. Recruiting is always happening. Seasons are happening. Camps, practices, training, film room. But when they get the chance to go out, to let it hang out a little bit, and just get a chance to go see what else is out there, they are always supporting the other programs here at this university.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really think it talks to the culture here just within the athletic community. So not within just your sport, but also the athletic community. The athletes support each other. The coaches support each program, and it's really cool. I love to see Coach Sue out here hanging out, enjoying the ballpark and the new additions, of course, to the field. But you hit that nail on the head, just how the way that all the Seminoles support each other.
1-2 pitch is McKenna Reed. Deals with the top of the order again, and Kayla Harper fouled away. Count remains the same. I was about to say, Coach Semrau leaving in the hands of Brooke Wyckoff, now taking over. So Seminoles close to the top of the ACC standings as they are rounding out their season. Almost March Madness time, so they're gearing up for postseason play.
The fun time.
That's right. Softball just getting started, though, here, as these are still important games here as the regular season really finds a groove. This one just tipped by Harper. 1-2.
I love this outing right here by McKenna Reed. I mean, she is an elite pitcher. We know she's going to be an elite pitcher here for Florida State, but really just getting the opportunity to close out this game.
She gets the punch out right there. Rise ball way up, and Harper saw it get bigger and bigger, but unfortunately nothing but air with the bat.
Absolutely. McKenna Reed just doing what she does. I mean, she's going to be a strikeout pitcher. You know that. And she does that there, getting the strikeout on Harper.
And Coach Alameda told us, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast here, Tiffany, how much depth this team has compared to last year with pitching. I mean, she's typically had pretty good depth, but compared to last season when they only used 5 pitchers, now you got 7. The problem now becomes, when you have Mac Leonard, Catherine Sandercock, Allie Dubois, they're all going to leave after this season. So the more time that they can get the likes of McKenna Reed, in the circle tonight, that's going to be very valuable experience for them as see Logan Jackson gets on base with a single. So she represents the tying run, and the go-ahead run now comes to the plate. But, the likes, like we said, McKenna Reed, Maddie Balk getting the start tonight. These are some valuable innings that they can use against a quality opponent that's given Florida State a run for their money. The Ospreys doing an excellent job and good piece of hitting. More opposite field hits. Love to see it.
They does a great job staying within that pitch and keeping her hands inside the ball and driving that to the opposite side. And that's not an easy thing to do against a McKenna Reed who's throwing in, upper 60s. So great job right there in Logan Jackson.
So Madison Federico will pinch run. This is go big or go home for UNF. They're going to put as much speed as they can get on the base paths now.
And if you're North Florida, you're right where you want to be. You're in the top of your lineup right now, getting Glover, your best hitter, the opportunity to kind of step up and help will her team to tie up this ball game or even potentially take the lead. So you're right where you want to be. You're giving your team the best opportunity to take the lead or tie the game, and possibly take the lead.
This is really now the heart of the order for Jeff Conrad's bunch. Couldn't have asked for a better setup on that regard to try and get the lead back. They have responded once again in every inning since Florida State has scored. Noles got the lead in the 4th with a home run from Katie Dack. North Florida came right back with a run in the next half innings. This one's fouled as Federico went off the pitch, and now she realizes it was foul. Did not realize it just yet.
Hey.
I want to stay here, though,
Coach
I ran hard.
Coach is being aggressive. I love to see that.
You're against the number 6 team in the country, and remember, these two teams faced off in the fall, and the Ospreys came away with the win, so they know they have the capability of beating Florida State. Swing and a miss, strikeout. Huge one for McKenna Reed to retire Shannon Glover. 2 down, 1 out away, and boy, oh boy, the situation now becomes extra spicy. Good pitch, though, here first by Reed.
Yeah, you see her going up and in, kind of getting that pitch going and getting that inside corner inside of Glover's mind, and then painting the outside corner and get her to chase. Really great job right there by McKenna Reed.
We said in the first inning about the most anticipated part of this game was Chloe Culp. Well, now we're in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. And she's trying to do it for her team, but she bites at the first pitch and she flies out to center. Oh, I was trying to build her up. I was trying to build up the matchup, but
how the game goes.
That's how the game goes. And so Florida State gets the victory over North Florida. What a battle Ospreys came to play. Second game for them today, but Florida State guts it out with a 4-3 victory. Excellent battle between both these teams. 4-3 victory goes to the Seminoles, and the game-winning hit and home run by Janai Kerr, Tiffany, was the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see that right there by Janai Kerr. She does a great job staying on that outside pitch and really giving her team the opportunity to take the lead and eventually take the win in this game.
Got the home run against Bama, and she gets the home run to get a victory here against UNF. Alex Rivero's down with Janai.
Thanks, Trevor. I'm here with Janai Kerr, who hit an awesome home run to left center in the bottom of the 6th. So, Janai, how did it feel to cross home base after that home run?
It felt really good just to know that I could, get a run across for the team.
Awesome, and you guys have a really busy week ahead of you. So, what are you guys doing to prepare?
A lot of reps, as many reps as we can get with playing on the same day, rest, rehab, recovery, stuff like that.
Awesome.
Fresh.
Perfect. Best of luck with the rest of the weekend, but thank you and great job today.
Thank you.
Back to you, Trevor.
Tiffany, final thoughts on what was an absolute war between these two really well-coached and very good teams that really have proved that they can really battle with anybody in the country.
Yeah, I think what we said at the beginning was exactly what happened, right? A scrappy ball club in North Florida. Really, Florida State just kind of staying on cue with what they started in Clearwater. And I think the Ospreys are right where they want to be and kind of knowing that they can compete with the top team in the nation and then take that on as they move through conference and hopefully get to where they want to be at the end of the year. And then on the flip side, Florida State continue to build on that, use those great arms, as you see Catherine Sandercock and McKenna Reed right there, the end and the beginning right there for them. But really good, top quality ball game tonight.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see. UNF definitely proved they are as gritty as they can be. This is their second game today. They got the win over FAMU just before this game, hour difference in between. And now they come back and really put Florida State on edge a little bit. And this is going to make Florida State think a little bit, too, as now they head into the Unconquered Invitationals beginning tomorrow. They'll face Florida FGCU, good Eagles team with a lot of history in their own right. But that will wrap things up here from Tallahassee for tonight. For Alex Rivero, my broadcast partner Tiffany Brown, our producer Luke Broderick, director Abby Longhofer, and our entire ACCNX crew, I'm Trevor DeGroat saying so long from Joanne Graff Field in Tallahassee.